What's going on, guys? KW Stout, healthmindpower.com. In this video, I want to talk about motivation. Okay, motivation is one of the biggest subjects that comes up when it comes to dieting or building muscle, anything fitness related, anything that has to do with changing your life or starting a new venture, like starting a business, changing careers, going back to school, doing well in school, whatever. People have this idea that's been sold to us, okay? There's a reason we have this idea, but it's not the right idea. We have this idea that you need motivation to get started, or you need motivation to do well, or you need motivation to stick with something. And I think one of actually the biggest misconception I see with people when they compare themselves to someone who's successful at something that they want to do. For example, you see someone who's in great shape and you see them, they wake up early and they hit their workouts every time, they never skip workouts. Or you see someone like, Gary Vee, who is just constantly hustling 24/7, and people think that these other people are just more motivated than them. They think it's motivation. That's why they do it, because they're motivated. And that's not the case. That's not the case at all. It has nothing to do with motivation. It's discipline. It's not motivation. It's discipline. Motivation is a temporary feeling. Motivation is just an emotion or a combination of emotions. Okay, you can get motivated. Lots of things can motivate you, but you'll never feel motivated constantly. You'll never just feel motivated 24/7. No one is perfect. No one is immune to normal challenges and normal ups and downs and bad days and unexpected negative events. No one is immune to this. No one wakes up every single day, no matter what they tell you, and it's just like, come on, you really buy in this whole thing that people just wake up ready to attack the day every day just because they love life so much? Come on now. I don't. Successful people hate the sound of their alarm clock too. Okay, it comes down to discipline. So what happens whenever you get motivated about something? Let's say, this is going to be something that I bet a lot of you can relate to, because I see this all the time. Something happens, some event happens. Maybe people want to get together for a pool party, and you make an excuse not to go because you don't want to be there in your bathing suit. You don't want to be seen in your bathing suit. In fact, you might not even own a bathing suit, or you definitely haven't worn it in years because you're overweight and you feel insecure about it. And while everyone else is having fun and you feel like you're missing out on it, all of a sudden you get inspired to make the change and to finally lose the weight. And you're getting excited about it, so you start looking into what you need to do. You put together your routine, you got your diet plan laid out, and you're feeling extremely motivated. You're feeling excited, okay? In your mind, right then, you're going to stick with it. You really think that. You really think you're just going to stick with it, and it's going to be easy because now you really want it and you're serious. And even if it's not easy, you're still going to do it because you're motivated, And then what happens? Day one, it's already hard, but you push through, After all, you can't give up that quickly. But then by the end of the first week, the weekend comes, you break down, you eat some shitty food, then you binge, then you just drop it all completely, and you start telling yourself how you're just destined to be this way, and you start telling yourself all the excuses about why other people are in shape and you're not. Oh, well, they just must not get the hunger cravings I get, or it's just easier for them to stay dedicated. They're just more motivated than me. Some people just have more motivation for this sort of thing. I don't. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not how it is. Motivation is just a temporary feeling, but it has nothing to do with your success. It has nothing to do with success in life or success in any endeavor. And motivation comes and goes. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't get motivated if you can, or you shouldn't use motivation if you can. That's the thing. Whenever you have motivation, I say double down and use that, Those are the times when you can push yourself even harder than ever. So, let's say if you feel motivated for a month, I mean, there have been times when I'm extremely motivated, and so I can push myself harder. I can work insane hours that I would just not even be able to attempt right now, because I'm not jacked up on natural motivation right now. I'm just riding on discipline. Motivation is never going to stick around. It comes and it goes. When you have it, use it. It makes life easier. It makes whatever you're doing more fun. And a lot of times when you're motivated, you're going to do your best work. But just know that it's not going to be there forever, and that has nothing to do with the results you get. It's just something that comes and goes. I can't tell you how often I see people who think that they have to get motivated first before they go to the gym. Okay, that's not how motivation works. Only very rarely will you get those just bursts of motivation that come from things like the example I mentioned earlier. But a lot of times that kind of motivation comes from some kind of negative event. Well, are you seriously just going to go put yourself into situations where you can have a negative event that causes you to question yourself and feel down about yourself or something, just to get yourself motivated? Are you just going to do that all the time? That's no way to live life. And that's not going to work anyways, because eventually you'll just get immune to it. After all, isn't that what happened before? Isn't that why you need to get motivated now? Because you lost the motivation you had before? So this is a thing that's just never going to end, okay? Motivation is just never something that you can or should rely on, and it's completely irrelevant. So the reason why we think motivation is so important, and the reason why this idea is passed around so much, is because it's a powerful marketing strategy. What companies do is they'll hit you with something to make you feel motivated, because they know you're more likely to make a purchase whenever you're in that heightened emotional state and you're experiencing motivation, and you truly believe you're going to follow through on this. You're a lot more likely to buy that $99 little ab gadget or whatever, or sign up for that expensive diet program or whatever. And I'm not saying that these things are not that every fitness product or diet product is bad. Obviously, I sell coaching and I sell other programs and stuff too. But what I'm saying is that I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how motivated you are, that's not what's going to get you through. Okay? Even if you sign up for me as a coach and you tell me how motivated you are, I won't believe it for a second, because I know that that's going to go away. I know that that's not what's going to get you results. What's going to get you results is whenever you build habits and you create discipline. It's doing it every day, whether you feel like it or not. It's taking it seriously enough, respecting yourself enough to do it whenever you feel like it or when you don't feel like it. It's just like for me, I work out first thing in the morning, and I go through phases where I am looking forward to waking up. I do feel good, even though I feel tired. I feel good about getting up early. There'll be times when I'll get up at like 4:45, and then I go through other phases where it sucks and I hate the alarm. I hate it, and I wish it could give me another 30 minutes or an hour or something, But I've just got too much going on, and I'm not going to skip my workout, and I'm not going to miss out on other obligations I have throughout the day, or I'm not going to not have time, for example, to record these videos, So I do it. And you know what? The thing is that it always feels like it's going to be so much worse than it is. It kind of sucks for like 30 seconds. And then once you get started, you get motivated, because that's really how motivation works. What happens is, if you get used to getting external motivation from other sources, from watching motivational videos and reading motivational quotes and other bullshit that's targeted for losers, is you rely on that, and you actually start to think that you need motivation from something else, that something else can give you motivation. That's not how you get motivated. That's not how you motivate yourself to stick with your fitness goals or to do anything. You motivate yourself by actually taking action. And when you take action, you start to build momentum. And then that's when the motivation comes, okay? You build momentum, so you've got energy behind you, pushing you forward. You start to get results, and those results make you feel good, and it makes you want to do more. It makes you want to get more results. That's how you motivate yourself. but that's not really motivation. That's, once you get to that point, it's not motivation, it's discipline, because you have to put in the work first before it feels good. It only feels good after you've done it. So you still had to create it for yourself. So the motivation comes after you've already put in the work. You see, so it's not motivation that's getting you the results. People think because, and that's another thing, is like people misinterpret it because they'll do something, they'll get the results, they'll feel motivated, and they think, now I feel motivated, that's why I'm finally doing it. No. You feel motivated and you're finally doing it because you're finally doing it. You're just doing it. That's the important part. So anyways, I know this video is kind of all over the place, but this is just something that's just incredibly important to grasp. It's something that's so common. It's just probably the biggest misconception when it comes to getting started with fat loss or any kind of fitness endeavor. This is probably the biggest misconception, that you need to be motivated. Like that's what's going to get you going, and it's not. Being motivated will get you going, but it won't keep you going. Okay, so you might as well just not even think about it from the beginning and focus on what matters. What matters is building habits, creating discipline in your life, doing it when you don't feel like it. That's what matters. If you only take away one thing from this video, just remember, external motivation is for losers. Winners don't need motivation. Winners just do it regardless. Okay? If you need external motivation, you need more self-respect. You need to respect yourself enough to do what you know needs to be done, to do what you know is most important, regardless of how your feelings feel in the moment, okay? I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate from trolls and from losers who honestly just can't grasp this. But I also know that there are a lot of people, hopefully you, where it finally clicks. It actually makes sense. But you think back on the times whenever you were most dedicated to something, or when you excelled most at something, and you remember, oh yeah, I did have to put in a lot of time practicing. I had to go to all those practices I didn't enjoy. I had to do it. I always found a way to do it on the days when I didn't feel like it, or I just didn't feel very good that day. And you look back and you realize that it was never the motivation. It was just your discipline, and it was just you deciding to do it and actually following through and doing it, So for those of you that do get it, then I hope this does give you some encouragement. I hope this does provoke you to actually just get started. Just go to the gym, start watching your food, whatever it is you're trying to do. Start doing research for that business that you've been putting off, or whatever. Right now, I know we're talking a lot about health and fitness, but this applies to everything in life. So for those of you that do get it, I hope this kind of takes that idea out of your head, or that burden off your shoulders that you have to wait to be motivated, or that motivation even matters, or that you are less than someone else because you don't feel motivated, because that's just not the case. The other people that are doing it, they may not feel motivated all the time, but they're just doing it anyways. And the advantage of always taking action and always doing it is that you do create your own motivation, and you actually make it easier on yourself. The hard part is actually starting it. The hard part is actually getting out of bed whenever your alarm first goes off early in the morning, or the hard part is going to the gym for the first time when you've never gone. It's hard to get started, but then it just continues to get easier. And after a while, you get to a point where you would be ashamed of yourself if you didn't follow through. I mean, once you become disciplined, you would feel bad about yourself if you didn't follow through on the days where you didn't feel like it, because you deserve better, and you can do better, and you're not that person anymore who needs to feel like it just to do it. So anyways, just sharing my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Even the haters, feel free to say I'm full of shit or whatever you want, And for those of you that did like this video, please like the video, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.